the last frontier of legalization.
As we delve into the United States patchwork of policies, we find ourselves chuckling at the states that haven't yet embraced the green wave. From sea to shining sea, some places are still keeping their grass on the lawn rather than in a joint.
Alabama, sweet home, without the sweet leaf.
Alabama, known for its southern hospitality, football fervor, and a penchant for pecan pie, hasn't warmed up to the idea of legalized marijuana. Perhaps they're concerned it might slow down. The speedy Crimson Tide can't risk losing a game.
Idaho, the gem state, says no to the green gem.
Idaho, the gem state, seems content with its potatoes and scenic landscapes, but remains stone cold when it comes to cannabis. Maybe they're just waiting for a variety with spud like buds before changing their stance.
South Carolina, Palmetto state, but no palmetto blunts.
South Carolina's palmetto trees may offer shade, but there's no shade thrown on the fact that they're yet to legalize marijuana. Perhaps they're waiting for the perfect strain to pair with a delicious southern home-cooked dish. Now, as we peer into our hazy crystal ball, which states might be the trailblazers in joining the marijuana movement?
Virginia, from history books to high joints.
Virginia, a state steeped in American history, might just make history by being one of the first to legalize, with neighboring D.C. already embracing cannabis. Virginia might follow suit sooner rather than later, a modern twist to their historical narrative.
North Dakota, turning the tides in the Peace Garden state.
North Dakota, often overlooked but never to be underestimated, could surprise us all. The Peace Garden state might choose to bring a different kind of peace by embracing legalization, proving that good things do grow in the cold. As we look to the rear of the legalization parade, which state might be the caboose in this cannabis journey?
Wyoming, forever.
States maintain a prohibition stance, it creates a regional echo chamber of resistance. The lack of immediate external pressure from legalizing neighbors could contribute to Wyoming's inertia in adopting cannabis reform. In essence, Wyoming's conservative values, sparse population, historical caution, and lack of agricultural enthusiasm for cannabis collectively form a formidable barrier to swiftly legalization. As the rest of the nation dances with Mary Jane, Wyoming remains the stoic cowboy at the saloon door, quietly resisting the evolving rhythm of the cannabis two-step. While other states may sway to the green melody, Wyoming seems destined to be the last in line to join the dance. Why the predictions? Economic factors. States facing financial challenges might see the green rush as a potential revenue source. Tax dollars from legal marijuana sales could fill budget gaps and fund various public programs. Public opinion shifting attitudes towards marijuana, driven by changing demographics and increased education on its benefits, could sway politicians to align with the will of the people. Neighboring influence states surrounded by jurisdictions that have legalized marijuana may feel the pressure to follow suit, either to keep up or to prevent residents from crossing state lines for a toke. In the end, as we eagerly watch the cannabis landscape evolve, one thing is certain: the green revolution is here to stay. And sooner or later, every state might find itself rolling with the times or perhaps rolling a joint. Only time will tell, and time, much like a well-cured strain, takes its sweet time. As we peer through the cannabis-infused fog, Wyoming stands out as a bold defender of prohibition. But why might the cowboy state be the last in line to embrace the green revolution? The state's traditional ethos may be a significant factor in resisting the push towards marijuana legalization. A mindset deeply rooted in self-reliance and minimal government interference may see cannabis as an unwelcome outsider, disrupting the established order. With Wyoming boasting one of the lowest population densities in the country, the state may perceive less urgency in addressing marijuana legalization compared to more densely populated areas. A smaller populace might mean less pressure from constituents eager for change, allowing policymakers to maintain the status quo without facing significant public demand. Wyoming's economy has long been tied to agriculture, with a focus on livestock and grains. However, the state hasn't shown a keen interest in cultivating cannabis crops. Unlike some other states that see marijuana as a potential cash crop, Wyoming may not view the economic benefits as compelling enough to overcome its conservative stance. The history of Wyoming's resistance to change, especially when it comes to substances perceived as altering the status quo, might play a role. The state's historical reluctance to adopt alcohol prohibition during the early 20th century is indicative of a conservative streak that has persisted over time. This hesitancy to embrace societal shifts could extend to the legalization of cannabis. Wyoming finds itself geographically surrounded by other states that have also held firm against marijuana legalization. When neighboring states maintain a prohibitionist stance, it creates a regional echo chamber of resistance. The lack of immediate external pressure from legalizing neighbors could contribute to Wyoming's inertia in adopting cannabis reform. In essence, Wyoming's historical, cultural, and economic factors weave an assortment of resistance to the green tide. The state's conservative values, sparse population, historical caution, and lack of agricultural enthusiasm for cannabis collectively form a formidable barrier to swift legalization. As the rest of the nation dances with Mary Jane, Wyoming remains the stoic cowboy at the saloon door, sipping its sarsaparilla and quietly resisting the evolving rhythm of the cannabis two-step. While other states may sway to the green melody, Wyoming, with its boots firmly planted, seems destined to be the last in line to join the dance.